Hello, everybody. Welcome to Steering the Pod with Ivan de la Garza. Happy New Year 2026. I hope this year's filled with nothing but good things for all of you. Today, I have a special episode. I have an interview with a coworker of mine who I would consider a friend who went to Spain, Marbella, Spain, for a World Ironman. And I'm not talking about the superhero, no, but almost the superhero. No, she had the opportunity to do a World Ironman in Spain and had the opportunity just to talk to her, talk about what she went through, her experience in Spain, her experience during the competition, and her thoughts afterwards. So here's the interview. I hope you enjoy.
I grew up doing sports. I was a competitive gymnast growing up. And then once I got out of gymnastics and in college, I started to do running just because I didn't do any kind of like collegiate. I mean, I did club lacrosse, but I didn't do any type of collegiate sport in college. And I found at that time that was something that was missing in my life. So that's where I really started to pick up running. This is the way that I decompress. And I find joy out of it. I don't know. I think some people don't enjoy exercise, but I really do. And I'm also really competitive. Specifically for a half Ironman, it's a 1.2-mile swim and then a 56-mile bike ride and then a half marathon. I competed against people who had previously qualified in other half Ironman races. So essentially, you have to come in the top 10% for your age group to be able to qualify for this race. I qualified with St. George. I came in 18th place for my age group during that race. And what happened, there was roll down spots. So um, depending on the race, there's usually they take the top three in your age group automatically. And then depending on how big and competitive the race is, they'll give you extra spots depending on like how many people are actually in your age group. So I was able to get a spot and I went to Spain. I basically started around November, December of 2024, and then trained the entire year. It's definitely one of my most intense training blocks. So once I trained, or once I qualified during St. George and made the decision that I was going to go to Marbella, I kind of kicked it up a notch, and I started doing 2-a-day workouts. So I would wake up at like 4:45 and either do a bike or a swim or a run in the morning, and then do something after work. Because it was a world race, it was a more challenging race. So the elevation gain for the bike was about 6,000 feet, which was nuts. Which was nuts. But I was again had been training for it, but that aspect in itself was challenging. I'm a person who doesn't like to not meet their goals, so I always feel like I set my expectations lower for myself. And I think I have learned over the last few years that I start to need to set my expectations higher and not be afraid of failure. This race, I thought I'd be lucky if I got below 7 hours, just because it was such a hard course, and I finished in 5 hours and 55 minutes, and I came in the top 15% for women. So the mantra that I usually say to myself is breathe in belief and exhale self doubt, and I just say that over and over again. I also find that smiling and like pretending like you're really happy actually really helps. I have to say with triathlons, I don't know. I always find in the moment, I actually haven't really had that much difficulty with like quote unquote giving up, except on the swim. I am so the swimming is my least. I don't want to say prepared, but well, sometimes I sandbag it. But I'm not a good swimmer. I did not grow up swimming. I don't have the technique down. It's by far my weakest, and running is my strongest. I haven't put too much thought in for next year, but I do want to get into trail racing. I did my first kind of ultra. I did a 35K, which is about 21 miles in Crested Butte, and had a blast doing it. So I'm thinking about doing a longer race, maybe a 50 miler next season. I also really want to try and do a just a half Ironman to see where I'm at and to see if I can break my goal time is to get below an hour and 30 minutes, which is something I never thought was possible. But after this most recent race, I think I could do it.